Alrighty then. Top of the day to you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Here we are looking at a couple of the soon to be released into the wilds, at least in our country. They're out in other places at this point. 564, I guess, if you want to look at it like that. And the placard on the 400, this is a .1. So I had the opportunity to use some pretty decent digital scales in this little informative session. This was filmed in the winter of 2026. It's about as close as I'm going to get with that one. If we want to look at the weight on that saw, some nice digital shipping scales. It comes out at 12.85 on the 564. If we want to look at the 363/.1, 12.2. If we want to talk about published information, I think the German website says this saw is 12.1, so we're relatively close, a tenth of a pound. So what is that? 1.6 ounces. This saw supposedly is about 12.8, which were 5/100ths of a pound, which is negligible. I've weighed a lot of saws over a lot of years, and Husqvarna's saws are generally pretty right on with their published information. The Stihls will be not so much necessarily. That kind of number close, 5/100ths of a pound. So we see a differential here. The 363 is, that's this saw. The 362 that this saw is replacing, at least one saw that it's replacing, comes in at 12.3, I believe. The 400, current 400 in the USA is 12.75. I think if you round that, that's 12.8. So relatively close to this. I don't remember what the 562 is off the top of my head. I thought it was 13.1 or something like that. I think it's the same or a little bit heavier than a 462, but again, it's been a long time since I weighed one of those saws. If we want to talk about horsepower for a minute, published information on this saw is 4.0 kilowatts, which that equates to 5.36 horsepower, which they round up. That's just the way things go. So they're stating it's 5.4 when in reality it's probably 5.36. If we want to talk about this saw right here, supposedly it's 3.9 kW, which that translates to 5.23 horsepower. Supposedly this saw is down 1/10, but the current 400 is also rated at 4 kilowatts, which translates again to 5.4. This particular saw right here being down in displacement like a huge number. I think 4.1 or 4.2, just down in cc's. That's a huge number on a personal level, with not a lot of horsepower loss, I guess, essentially. There's a lot of things going on with this saw that we're going to get into later, why that actually becomes reality. I just thought it was kind of interesting. If we want to take a look at, maybe we can see that number a little bit better. Take a look at some of the published information as far as the numbers go and geek out on that for a second. I've kind of been looking under the hood a little bit, so stuff might be flopping around, but it's kind of like a baby 592, down to the fact that we have the same kind of cast situation going on for the tubes for the transfer ports as what we see in a 592. It's not exactly perfectly straight. It's the cylinder itself. It's canted back a fuzz, but I think they straighten it up a little bit from the 562, although I'm not exactly positive because I don't have one here to compare it to. If we look at the air cleaner process on the 564, it's made it up to the filter base. This is made it up pretty well. I'm thinking you're going to have the filter clogged pretty well. And this is some kind of conceptually like a nylon mesh. It's not flocked. Husqvarna flocked. This is off of a different saw, but conceptually flocked provides a lot more filtration as far as sucking the fines out of the air. This is going to allow a lot more air to go through, but not do quite a good a job on the filtering, if you want to look at it like that. You can also see the transfer port on the PTO, or excuse me, on the flywheel side, same as on the PTO side. Similar kind of concept with the 592 in the back where things are bolting up to the cylinder. Honorable mention, I'm hopeful you can see down in there where the nozzle for the fuel coming into the circuit on the charge side of things is right down there on the back side of the shutter in the valve body. I thought that was kind of interesting. Definitely different from what you see in the 500i. Personally, I'm going to go with this is going to atomize a little bit better, and that's going to help the power. The air cleaner is, we have a star-shaped operation that has to mate up perfectly down there, which I don't know if that keeps it from moving around or what the goal is from the factory. You want to take a look under the hood of the 400.1. This size 62.6 cc, so it's down basically 4 cc's in displacement from the current 400 that's available in our country. And an interesting side note, it's the same cc displacement as the MS363, which is available in other parts of the world. Claim to fame on this operation here is we're running the HD2 element off of the 462. We want to take a look at the size differential between what comes on the 362 and the 400. This element flows about twice as much air as this one, which means the head space is quite large. You're going to get quite a bit more time. That's kind of an interesting concept of how much time you actually get. It depends on the material that you're cutting, the condition of the chain, if you're pulling chips versus dust, how much wind is in the air, if the wind's blowing away from you or toward you, time of year. All those things play into longevity or not, depending on that part of the equation. So how long will it run? I don't know, but it's going to run twice as long as this one. I can guarantee you that. It's taller and it's bigger in diameter. It's kind of like a 6-inch pipe flows so many cubic feet a minute, and an 8-inch pipe flows like 4 times as much. That's the concept. So it's kind of interesting. It's got the same kind of system in the front, mounting for the tank handlebar interface as what we see on a 362 and 400. It looks suspiciously familiar. It's different here a little bit. It's got a little bit different situation going on here. The full wrap is to be decided at some point later. I was kind of looking at this filter-based situation here. Kind of looks like a velocity stack in some degree for the raw air coming in on the top. Fresh air split going down both sides. The horsepower on this thing is only a tenth lower than the standard issue 400 in this country. Part of that's going to be because of the air cleaner flows so much more. I guess you guys have to push harder, dummy. It's kind of cool looking saw. Oh, if we look at the muffler, it does have a casing associated with the muffler, but it looks suspiciously like what we see on many of the Husqvarnas that have been out for years, namely the 562. They've been running a system like this for a long time now. years and years. It's funny how Stihl went to the one-piece shroud situation too. I don't know if that's ease of access. Kind of interesting. At some point, we'll be able to like run these two against each other and see how they do. I'm curious. I'm really curious to see if the fuel injected was all that. I guess we'll find out at some point later. So a little short snippet. It's about all I get with this operation tonight. So thanks for watching. Have a blessed day wherever you might be on his green earth.